Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Hi, my name is Kris.
Hi, my name is John.
And this is the...
I don't know.
It's the Stone...
Gager.
The Stone Age... Gamer
podcast.
Excellent, John. Well...
Let's see how it's...
Oh, I have to say a few more things first, buddy. So here's what happened. We recorded our annual Game of the Year awards, and it went extraordinarily long, as in so long that we can't even put it up as a single episode. So what you're about to listen to is the first part of our annual SAGJGLD awards. And it was very long, and it was very, very in-depth conversation. It was a good time. And so be sure to, when you're done with this, it's not over. Stick around for part 2. And without further ado, here is the first episode. Right, John?
Yeah, right.
Good evening and welcome to episode 182 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the week of December 29th, 2017. I am Kris Randazzo, and tonight is the night. It is time for us to present to you our annual SAGJGLD Awards, an award with a name that's as dated as it is personally amusing to me. Our panel this evening is a veritable who's who of Geekade podcasters. First, we have our bearded padmaster himself, Mr. Dan Ryan.
Good evening.
Well done. Well done. Then joining us from the Vest and Friends podcast, the Vest Lord himself, Senor Dean DeFalco.
Top 3 Joseph Gordon-Levitt dicks. We're gonna go with Batman. Gonna go with what the fuck was the movie with all the mirrors and shit?
Inception.
Inception. Give me one more. With the one with Zooey Deschanel. What the hell was that one?
What was that? 500 Days
500 Days of Summer.
There you go.
Top 3 dicks. Top 3 dicks you never got to see of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Right there. We're good.
Not for
End
nothing.
The podcast.
And yet I'm pretty sure you can see it in Don John.
I was going to say, in
right,
Don John, that is pinnacle Joseph Gordon-Levitt dick movie. Like, he's humping the shit out of Scarlett Johansson. Just...
Lucky man.
And she's got a terrible, like... Joyzy accent, which none of us fucking talk that way, by the way. Rest of the country.
Yeah. Well, of course, you know, he got that opportunity because he also wrote and directed that movie.
Shit,
Well,
I totally derailed this. We were fucking interested.
Also from
Chris,
the Vest and Friends podcast, someone I've been assured is a real person I've met before. Someone named Glenn, I think.
Who the fuck is Glenn?
Exactly. And finally, from the Nonstop Comic Shop podcast, a man whose last name could easily be confused for a hipster beverage, Mr. Jordan Hazelwood.
Hello. That's a new one. Thank you for that. I'm glad I finally have a last name joke that can displace both Hazelnut and are you related to the drunken captain of the Exxon Valdez?
I don't know. That second one's pretty good.
Dilly.
We've all put together our lists for our games of the year, and we're going to spend the next, well, knowing us, 865 hours talking about them. But before we go any further, here is your weekly reminder that you can email us at mail@geekade.com. Just include the word Stone Age Gamer.
Wow, your distaste for that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. I just didn't swallow my, you know what, let's just keep moving on. Just include the word Stone Age Gamer in the subject line. You can let us know what you think of our show, what topics you would like us to discuss in the future, or just say hello, because we always want to hear from you, the listener. So, since, as we've already derailed this show once in the course of the intro, and
I'm sorry.
obviously have a lot to talk about, let's dispense with the pleasantries and get right down to business.
Chris.
Thank you,
Oh,
Dan.
I thought we were getting rid of the pleasantries.
That was
Sorry.
pleasant for you.
Cock smoke.
For our first segment, we've each put together 5 games that we wanted to give out special awards for this year. These are the games that are remarkable in some way, but not quite our overall games of the year, as it were. Then, after the break, we'll each give our top 3 picks for Game of the Year and give out our individual SAGJGLD awards to our very favorite games we played in 2017. So since Dean used to be on this podcast, let's start with Dean and then go around the virtual room until we're done. Dean, hit us with your first award.
All right. These are. I made my top 5 basically honorable mentions because I mean they were games that I thought were great. But my top 3 were my favorite that I played this year that came out this year. So I want to start with Mario Rabbids. I gave it the most wahs uttered in a single game this year. It's Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and I mean Rabbids just all over the place. You can't get away from it. You're hearing wah every 10 seconds, and I mean it works, you know. But down to business, the game has really great controls. It's like XCOM Lite for anyone that has been living under a rock when it came out. It handles really, really well. It has an awesome soundtrack by, I believe it's Grant Kirkhope. He did.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I mean it has that feel. You can just tell that it's a Grant Kirkhope joint. He's dropping fire on it. It's great. He's got appearances by Kanye West, Rick Ross, Joe Button. No, he doesn't have any of that. But
Rick Ross and really, that's the reference you went to.
I don't know. I like Rick Ross. Shut up. But
I mean,
yeah,
DJ Khaled would be like still not relevant, but at least more fucking topical.
Well, I mean, we the best. But. Yeah, so I mean the soundtrack's really solid. It has some awesome character designs, especially the bosses and stuff. Overall, I had a really good time with this game, and the plot's like it might be simplified, but it's fun too. Just for it, you had to take it at face value. The reason why this didn't really make my top 5 was because while it is XCOM, I did mention light, and it is super light with the mechanics. It is XCOM in its most simplified form, which can be a good or a bad thing depending on if you want to get your feet wet with something in the genre, or you really really want something way more in depth. You can go either way on it. It's slightly
really
redundant.
Looking to this for a getting the feet wet thing. I didn't actually play this.
It's
game
perfect
this year.
for that.
I wanted to get it. It was on my Christmas list. It didn't come my way, and now I'm kind of sifting back and forth on whether or not I should actually dive into this, or if I should spend the money on some of the other just mountain of stuff that's on the eShop that I want to buy.
There's a lot of stuff coming out, and that is out right now. And I mean, when it gets cheaper, this is a definite purchase for like if it's $30, $25, absolutely. It gets a little slightly redundant at towards the end of the game, besides the final boss. So there's that, and the skill trees in the game are all sort of alike. At some point, they all hit that point where it's like, well, I'm just all leveling you guys up in the same thing, so that can get a little weird. But I mean, besides that, it's just an overall solid, good new step for Mario. Because motherfucker's got a gun. He's got a gun, and it worked. It worked. Everyone, when the pictures came out, and Yoshi's got a bazooka or a machine gun, and Luigi's
Yoshi
got a
Safari
sniper.
for Super Nintendo. Mario's holding a freaking bazooka, all right?
Look,
this ain't
it's
breaking
just,
new ground.
Relax. Look, it's just weird. It hasn't happened a lot before, and I mean, it's just overall really solid game for something that really hasn't had any iterations before it. So yeah, overall, I mean, it's definitely a solid honorable mention.
All right, I'm interested to play the game. Has anyone else here played this game besides Dean?
No, I have not. And in fact, Dean, when you said that this game provides the most whys per capita, and none of them are from Wario,
or even Waluigi. I mean, did this really top Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in the WoW department?
Well, I mean, those are just triggered if you hit something. Those are by choice whys. These are scripted whys. Scripted whys, guys. Okay, I'll change it to most fucking scripted whys. Okay?
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keeping with the tradition of the show, the award for most scripted fucking whys in the game goes to
Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Mario plus Rabbids. Get it right. God damn it.
Sorry.
Mario Cross Rabbids.
Oh, we're
X
getting
Cross
deep in
Battle.
Dream Fighter.
I was gonna pick Glenn next, but I'm being told that Glenn's microphone has pooped the bed.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead. All right. Well, he'll be missed. So we're just gonna.
So Glenn doesn't exist again. He's returned to the land of wind and ghosts.
Exactly.
Who the fuck is Glenn?
That's a valid question. No one
Never
will
know,
ever
never
know.
will. Yeah.
All right, Jordan, then give us your first pick. What is your first award?
Okay, well, let me start out by saying that I've only been on comic book media-related podcasts for quite a long time. I think it was 9 months ago that I was on my last video game-related podcast. So I thought I would take some baby steps with my first award. So my Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Dixie for Tell the Avengers That Infinity War Has Been Cancelled award goes to Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series.
Oh.
I've been a fan of the Telltale type, extremely story-driven, sort of adventure game-ish kind of games since Back to the Future, actually, before The Walking Dead, like before people actually started paying attention to them. And I enjoyed the hell out of the Fables one, The Wolf Among Us. I even sort of named one of the episodes of my show after that. And also the Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands was shockingly good. But I've been kind of falling off since Walking Dead 2 and Batman and Game of Thrones especially were a bit disappointing. But man, Guardians grabbed me right out of the gate because when I tell you this, I swear it's going to sound like a spoiler, but it's not. Basically, the first thing that happens in this game is that Star-Lord kills Thanos.
Whoa.
And I was completely expecting him to then pick up his space phone and say, hey Tony, hey, it's Peter. No, not that Peter. Yeah, Space Prince, exactly. Hey Tony, so we just killed Thanos. So I guess you can probably not do with the Infinity War movie in 4 months. Look, I don't know, man. You could always give like Black Widow her own movie. Or hey, a second Incredible Hulk. Right? Hello.
Breaking my heart here, Jordan. Breaking my heart here.
No, but I will say that the shine kind of falls off the Thanos' corpse's rose when you discover that the new MacGuffin can literally resurrect the dead, because comic book characters really need a lot of help in that category. But I could just go. There were so many great little moments, and I could hit them all. But I'll summarize by first and foremost saying for all the comic book fans out there, they don't really use the movie designs. They actually use the comic book designs, the strangely redundant comic book designs. So Drax is exactly the same color as Gamora. And Gamora also has raccoon eyes, despite the fact that there is a raccoon on the team.
Well, her raccoon eyes are like lighter green, right? Or are they?
They're kind of yellowish in this one.
That's right, yeah.
But so this doesn't really. This game came out before the second Guardians movie, so when they introduce Mantis, she looks exactly like Janet Van Dyne, Marvel's other sexy bug woman.
Because there's so many.
Just the two,
There's
really.
a few. There's Spider-Gwen.
Antennas for days. Let me stroke those.
What was
Spiders
that?
are-
It's Itsy Bitsy. Now that is not a sexy Marvel bug character. She was creepy as hell.
Also, spiders aren't bugs.
That's a fair point, but
That
I
is
mean,
a fair point.
Yeah.
Anything with more than 2 legs are bugs, and I'll kill them.
Well, this is going out to the other Telltale, longtime fans. In case you're curious, Rocket Raccoon is this game's Kenny. He's the guy who is extremely helpful early on, gets a lot of brownie points because he invented the gun that killed Thanos, and so you're predisposed to like him. And then for the rest of the game, he is a miserable, insufferable little bitch who just hates you no matter whether or not you agree with him. All these games need a Kenny. Also, he's voiced by Nolan North, who's basically just doing his Deadpool voice again, so there's that. I especially like the part in the late game when you play as Groot, and his dialogue trees are seemingly more robust than they actually are. Like, your dialogue tree will actually say things like, I'm just glad that we all survived, or it's harder to break a stick in a bundle, or I wish I had a mustache. But naturally, no matter what you choose, he says, I am Groot.
Fair enough.
And also, man, this year superheroes just can't seem to get away from mustaches. It's a real plague on their.
Oh, come on! Superman did a great job getting away from his mustache.
You know, if I may digress for just a second, you know the last time that a major DC Comics property had an issue with an actor's errant mustache, you know what they did? They just asked Cesar Romero to paint over his.
That's true. It
Did
probably
no one
would
think
have
of
been
that?
less distracting if they painted flesh paint over his mustache.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, that
Wow.
just sounds weird. Sounds weird.
Glenn, is that you, man?
Am I alive?
Yay!
Yay, Glenn's back.
Yay, Glenn!
It's a Christmas miracle.
ho ho ho.
Well,
All right. Well, Jordan picked Guardians of the Galaxy for his first pick.
I was listening. I had a lot of witty retorts and plenty of good things to add. It's just unfortunate you couldn't hear.
Wow.
No.
Curses.
Do you mind if I say one more quick thing?
Go for it.
I loved how the final fight actually reminded me a bit of Mass Effect 2's Suicide Mission, but you know what? It had more heart. And by that I mean it had heart on the soundtrack. You're listening to "Crazy on You" by Heart.
Oh, that's a good
All right.
one.
Well,
All right.
Slow clap.
Okay,
Well done.
Thank you. It's been a while since I've been on a video game podcast. I have a lot of jokes chambered up. So okay, I yield the floor.
All right, Glenn. We'll go switch back to you. Give us your first award.
All right, this is Glenn's What Did I Just Hear? Best Gibberish Award for 2017. And you know, there were a lot of contenders this year, a lot of good gibberish. Hollow Knight had good gibberish, Splatoon had good gibberish, but the best gibberish language game was
Fingers
Super Mario
crossed.
Odyssey.
Yeah!
Woo! And a very special shout out to the shopkeeper, the Yellow Store shopkeeper in New Donk City.
The human one that says, "I
The
just want to
human
die."
one.
I just want to die.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
And I didn't hear it at all, and my wife made me go back and just listen and didn't say anything, and then I heard it crystal clear. He
I
just wants to die.
That's really, really
You know,
disturbing.
And for 2017, I feel you, man, but it's okay. It'll get better, Shopkeep. It'll get better.
He's got a shitty job. He has to wear fucking 15 hats on his head. And
I think you mean gets to, not has to.
Yeah, it's a choice.
If you say so, that brightly colored establishment that he works in, I would go blind. I would probably go blind from just the amount of yellow in that place.
Look, man,
all of the time.
In the horrific stockbroker-only future of New Donk City, I think that guy has the job he wants.
Of hat vendor or stockbroker, maybe he made the right choice. Yeah.
He definitely has better style. Look at that outfit. I bought that outfit as soon as I could. Love running around in that outfit. So I'm genuinely surprised when you mentioned gibberish. I thought you were going ukulele, but since I haven't played that game yet, and as far as I know, none of the characters say they just want to die. I think this is a wise choice.
I like the dark. We will soon learn. But there's also all the forks in Mario
That was
Odyssey.
ominous.
Super cute.
Yeah,
Fan
right?
of the opera there.
all the forks are super cute in Super Mario Odyssey. All the fun seals everyone talks great in Super Mario Odyssey. So
I agree.
The best
And
gibberish.
And there was no this was essentially the first of this kind of Mario game since Super Mario Sunshine. If you think about the voices in Mario Sunshine, where there was just straight up talking for large
weird.
spans of time, and
real
things
weird.
get real uncomfortable
It was
with
real
like
weird.
Bowser Jr. talking about Peach as his mom, and
Very creepy.
I agree. This is a fine choice. Well done.
Although the Piantas in Super Mario Sunshine had very good.
Yeah, I love those Delfino people get like all kinds of flack online, and I think they're fantastic. I love those guys. They got like palm
that was
trees
not
for
the
hair.
Yeah, that was not the weak point in the game.
Yeah, no. That was not the weakness of Mario Sunshine. All right. Well, good one, Glenn. Dan,
Thank you.
What is your first award?
This award is for the company most likely to be a Trump supporter because they have the best ideas. People are telling them all the time how good their ideas are. Huge, bringing jobs back. And that goes to EA Games for their.
Not even a game, just the entire company.
Yeah. No, this is for the company, because they're a bunch of fucking assholes, which we've discussed on last week's episode or 2 weeks ago on the episode of the Stone Age Gamer. That would be Stone Age Gamer episode 180, which you can check out on the brand new Geekade.com 3.0. It's just, I mean, what
nice
a
subtle
fucking
plug there.
That's the only way I do them. Just what a fucking debacle. I mean, just from top, like, discounting the fact that they like ruined Mass Effect this year with the BioWare fucking whatever it's called.
Listen, they flushed a bunch of IPs down the toilet. There was Mass Effect, there was Battlefront, there was Need for Speed. They were just like, let's burn it all. Fuck it. Who cares?
And don't forget Dead Space.
And Dead Space, and then the shining beacon of hope out on the fucking like precipice of shit mountain that is Electronic Arts. They're like, oh, Star Wars, it looks so fucking dope. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to run around. Oh, I can't run around as any of those how much more money? Go fuck yourselves. So there you go. It's my first award.
And well won.
And well deserved.
They worked hard for that award, guys. You know,
They
it's hard
really
fought.
did.
That was far and away the correct winners of that award. Well
They
done.
fucked over a lot of people this year. They really went out of their way to do it. So congrats to them. Round of applause, guys.
There wasn't even a competition in this one. It was
fucking landslide.
It was. They won the popular vote and the Electoral College. It was fucking staggering.
All right, well, I guess I'll give out my award, which isn't nearly as funny as any of the rest of you.
Oh wait, did you just like pick serious awards?
No, not really. Just
The award for best sound design in a video game goes to.
No, my first award goes to the best worm chicken team up of 2017 goes to the Immortal Chicken Wiggle.
I need a little bit more here.
Were there a lot of games up for competition?
There were a lot of games featuring worm and chicken team ups, and of all of those, the finest example of a worm teaming up with a chicken was definitely Chicken Wiggle. I love this game. I really do, and I wish I wanted to play more of it, but it is on 3DS, and I'm oddly disdainful toward that thing now.
Go ahead, Chris.
I did last night. I actually went downstairs to get the Switch to play Picross on Switch instead of the 3DS that was next to my bed. I was in bed and said, man, I want to play Picross. And I got out of bed and went downstairs instead of picking up my 3DS for no good reason. I just tired of that thing. It's time for me to retire it. I just want to play games on Switch. But Chicken Wiggle, it went on sale, and I had to pick it up because this is a Jules Watson joint. And he's the guy who did Mutant Muds, which I adored way back when it first came out. He did Zeo Drifter as well, which was a really cool, relatively short but extremely cool Metroidvania-style game. And Chicken Wiggle is great. You collect the letters F-U-N in every level. Like you're actually literally collecting fun. And you're this adorable chicken with a backpack that's got a worm in it. And I don't remember the characters' names. I'm pretty sure the worm's name is Wiggle, though. And maybe the chicken's name is Chicken. I don't know, but you jump, and the worm kind of works as like a grappling hook, and you can get like super shoes that let you like run super fast, and the game's freaking adorable, and it's super happy, and it's just wonderful, and it's hard as hell. Like if you've ever played Mutant Muds, which is obscenely difficult, like I felt bad not buying the new Mutant Muds crazy deluxe pack that just came out on Switch because I loved Mutant Muds, but when I finished that game, I 100%ed it. I said I never want to do this again because it was so incredibly hard. But a new game, Chicken Wiggle, I'm game. I'm in. And if this game comes out on Switch, I will buy it again. But of all the chicken worm team ups that happened in 2017, Chicken Wiggle, hands down, my award.
Most notable competitor, Kane Lynch Deadman.
Yes.
I'm just surprised. I am less surprised that there was a chicken worm team up in Kane Lynch Dead Men than the fact that there was a new Kane and Lynch game.
No, I myself was picturing one of the worms from those interminable Team 17 Worms games playing Ultimate Chicken Horse. That was the closest I could come up with. Or maybe Nidhogg. Does the giant world-eating worm from Nidhogg, is he wormy enough?
He's not teaming up with anyone.
Yeah, I suppose not.
There was that Tremors game that released that had just like a bunch of chickens fighting the Tremors. That was pretty great, but that wasn't really a team up. It was the chickens versus the worms. So
right.
And the worms are not called
short
Tremors.
Of your strict category.
They're called Graboids. Thank you.
They cause tremors, Chris. Jesus.
You knew what I meant. God damn it! All right, back to you, Dean. Give us your second award.
Yeah, it's easy. It's the worst game I played this year. You have any guesses? Anyone have any fucking guesses?
Zelda.
Is it Skype?
Yeah, it's Skype. It's definitely Skype this year. Fuck Skype.
Hey, whatever blows your hair back.
Hot takes.
Yeah. Chris, I think you hit the nail on the head there, or the fur, or whatever you want to call it. It was fucking Bubsy. What the fuck did they call this game? The Woolly Strike Back.
The Woolly Strike Back. I will have you know, before he goes into this, I just want to tell this story that Dean and I both reserved the special edition of this game, and then I canceled my reservation because I needed to save money. And then a couple of days ago, it went on sale for $12, so I bought it for $12.
Don't lie, you backed out on our fucking Bubsy Suicide Pack.
I don't even have a PlayStation 4. I wouldn't have been able to play it anyway.
Yeah,
now I have a
You
sealed
sent it
copy
to
of
me,
Bubsy.
So I would have not played it.
I got a sealed copy of Bubsy sitting on my dresser upstairs, just looking at me, all pretty and shit. I don't even have a PlayStation 4. It's wonderful. All right, so go on.
So,
talk to us about Bubsy, Dean.
Tell us how great it is.
Yeah.
Tell us what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, so the good things, the plus sides, is it's short, so there's that. You don't have to feel the pain and torture for too long. And the controls are slightly tighter than the original, but that's not saying much. So, besides that, there's the bad bosses, the weird, unfinished, damage mechanic on them alone is really fucking bizarre. The music is subpar. There's a fucking verbosity meter. What the fuck were you thinking?
I haven't seen one of those since Awesome Possum kicks Dr. Machino's butt.
Yeah, fucking. I mean, there's zero replayability.
Did you just mention Awesome Possum? Jesus Christ!
I'm really old, guys. I'm not sure if you can tell that over Skype.
God, Awesome Possum had the worst frame rate of any 2D platformer I've ever played. Anyway, sorry, we're tangent. Go on. Continue.
There's not much else to say. I mean, there's zero replayability because there's literally nothing to do after unless you really want to go back and collect all the fucking cotton ball. What the fuck is he? Yarn balls.
He's a
Whatever
cat.
the fuck,
They
it
play with
doesn't
yarn
matter.
balls.
He
God
can
damn it,
collect
Dean.
Fucking crack vials for all I care. He's stupid as fuck. Stupid Bubsy motherfucker. And the bland goddamn levels. Stupid fucking enemies. Everything about this is stupid. Fucking cat. Why? What motherfucker thought this was a good idea, and then on top of thinking it was a good idea, just rub salt in the goddamn wound by making this subpar of a game? It would have been one thing if it was just okay. I would have been fine with just goddamn okay. But you know what? On top of that, you charge me the $40, and then you stick in a fucking postcard? A fucking postcard that's signed with a goddamn paw print.
And his business card, Dean. Don't forget his business card.
No. It's not signed with the fucking... You didn't get a cat. You didn't put him on. There's no fucking cat paw print. Don't fucking bullshit me. I don't... Fuck this game.
Dean,
fuck this game.
No. But let's be real here for a second.
Oh, God.
Cats don't have thumbs, Dean. I mean, what did you want him to do? He signed it.
No,
in the only way he knew how.
He didn't sign it. That's a fake paw print. That's a fake cat. Everything about this is fake. The illusion in their head, because they thought they made a good fucking game. That was their illusion.
Did they, though?
Yes, they did.
I mean, we're
they
talking
did.
about Black Forest Games. This is what's so weird about this. All right, so this is the team that did the Gianna Sisters game, the most recent one, and that wasn't bad. And the soundtrack is by Kris Hulsbeck, I think is how you say his last name. This is the guy who wrote the legendary Turrican soundtracks. This was literally a case of what could possibly go wrong, and it did. And I'm baffled by this. It's
They
amazing.
tried to be
He's
too
cursed.
authentic to Bubsy.
How did
it.
they get these people to make a new Bubsy game is what I want to know.
They said, "Would you like money?" And they went, "Okay."
Yeah, but how much money is someone throwing at Bubsy?
I
Exactly.
don't
How
know,
much
a
could they have
fucking
possibly
$10
paid
gift
these
certificate
people?
to Arby's or something? Like,
Yo, not for nothing. The fucking new rib sandwich at Arby's is really good.
I would.
yeah.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I would kill a man in front of his own child for some Arby's chicken fingers.
I would program a
Ugh.
Bubsy game for some Arby's.
apparently someone
Wow.
fucking did.
Well, there it is. There was some mystery solved.
Right?
I gotta go to the bathroom. That made me fucking mad. I'll be right back.
Game of the year
Dean
slash
has to anger
therapy.
poo. That's awesome.
Well, while Dean goes and angrily shits himself to death, Glenn, what's your second award?
This is the award for game that triggers Glenn's anxiety and literally makes his heart stop. And that award goes to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Woo!
PUBG!
And then you get shot in the fucking head. That game just beats up my soul. And I keep crawling back for more. Every time I finish playing that game, win or lose, I'm in a slump. I'm exhausted. I've been having half of a panic attack for the last 2 hours. I love it.
I am completely unaware of what this game is. What is this game?
This is a battle royale game where 100 people get dropped on an island, and it's like a huge open space. So it ends up being more of like a horror game where you get dropped on this island, you like pick a gun up from a building, and then you just run in this field, and you know somebody's looking at you through this giant ass scope, and you know you're gonna get shot in the head the second you stop, and it's just tense and scary, and I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it. It's a game that's sweeping the nation, and you just die in a second.
Sweeping the
and-
nation and filling hospitals wherever it goes.
But you also kill in a second.
All
I don't
right.
know. Is there anybody else playing PUBG? I know Dean is. 'cause
Oh yeah,
he's anger pooping.
No, I had to literally rage piss. I had to actually piss in rage. I and
Just
then
went and peed blood all
blood and steam. I'm a titan apparently. Yeah. So
No, actually, Dean, I mean, for real, though, you might want to go get that looked at. You might be very sick.
yeah, and then I apologize because that peaked like a motherfucker, and there's nothing I could do for that. But yeah, I played a bunch of PUBG. But yeah, PUBG's a great game, man. It's been a work in progress over the past 9 months, and it
Yeah.
took the world by storm. I mean, this was basically an Arma 3 mod that someone just kept, fine tuning. And it turned into something just unique and amazing on its own. I mean, granted, there's been clones of it since. I mean, before this, there was H1Z1 King of the Hill, which was like the original PUBG. But this is like the gold standard now for what a battle royale game should be. And it just released fully, 3 weeks ago, I think?
Even less, I think.
This just goes to show you how out of touch I am. I've never heard of even the games that this is based on.
I
Well,
was going to say,
it was
I
released
fully
on,
assume that some of those words have meaning attached to them.
What did I
don't
just
know what
watch?
Marvel
That was
It
that was
it
Doctor
released
Who.
on Xbox
That's right.
One, so that's why you probably don't know.
Well, we
yeah,
are
well.
huge supporters
Yeah.
of the Xbox One X here on the StoneAgeGamer.com.
PC as well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
outside of
it
my
is-
purview.
I have more awards to get to. Spoilers, sweetie. Come on now.
I was gonna say it is far more popular on the PC than it is on the Xbox, and probably forever will be that way.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of more awards to get to, Jordan, what is your next award? What is your second?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, here is where I really test the. I basically try to wear out your welcome for the whole, giving 2017 awards to much older games. From the year of our Lord 2011 comes this game I only just got around to playing this year. Comes the Coma Chameleon Award, and that goes to Driver San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah,
I forgot that was even
We're
a
going
thing.
way back.
Yeah, I was told that there was like more than meets the eye, perhaps, to this game, and I didn't really believe anyone. But I found it for $5 at a used game store like 3 years ago, and
what
just
platform?
now got around to playing it. And I think I know what they were talking about because. Driver San Francisco is the story of a San Francisco PD detective named John Tanner. As far as I know, every Driver game stars a dude named John Tanner. They're not at all related to each other, but whatever.
Are they related to the cast of Full House? Like Danny
Yes,
Tanner?
I hope so.
Yeah, you think someone would have made that joke, but actually I don't think they ever did.
Wow, son of a bitch. So no Bob Saget in the game.
Nope.
Already a colossal letdown, but I'll let you keep selling me on it.
Okay, well, here's where I sell you on this game. So Detective Tanner thwarts a massive terrorist attack on the city by the bay while in a coma.
Huh.
It really puts into perspective how little I get accomplished when I'm sleeping.
Wait a minute. How is he driving while in a coma?
He's driving around a perfect recreation of San Francisco on the dreamscape and piecing together what's happening from the news television that's on in his hospital room.
Oh my god, I had no idea this game was this insane.
That sounds amazing.
That series really took a turn.
That driver took a turn. I see what you did there.
See what it did there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, the whole coma thing it's basically the Animus from Assassin's Creed all over again. It's just it's like a fake world within a fake world that's used to excuse all the video game weirdness that happens in the video game.
So it's like the Motrix.
I don't know what that is.
I just like the Matrix, but inside the Matrix. I just called it the Motrix. It's easy. Jokes are always better when you explain them. So, I say this a lot.
I would have gone with like Matrixception or something, but that's just me. Okay,
well, yeah, if you wanted to make a good joke, sure.
Okay, so the first interesting little wrinkle that happens in this dreamscape is that you have for lack of a better word, how will I describe this 2011 concept to a 2017 audience? Okay, imagine, if you will, that Mr. Tanner can throw a googly-eyed hat at another car.
Okay.
And replace the soul of the driver of that car with his own.
I'm into it.
So it's like Geist.
Or Quantum
God.
Leap. Or Super Mario Odyssey. But yeah, so on the fly, your ghost can basically just leave its car and then scope out, from a bird's eye view, scope out every other car in the city and choose another car to drive like that. And so I imagine that when the designers came up with this idea, the first thing they thought is, well, aren't people going to, like, during races, aren't they just going to take over a semi-truck in the oncoming lane and use that to blast the cars and the opponents in front of them? And they're like, yeah, video gamers probably will do that. Let's actually make that part of the game. Okay. So they did.
Wow.
And that just never gets old. And there's more. The number of hilarious in media res conversations that you enter in whenever you shift into another car, you're in one car, your wife is explaining to you how to launder money. And my response to that was, honey, I know, I've seen Office Space. I can just look it up in a dictionary. Or I jumped into a cop in the middle of a high-speed chase, and my partner was trying to talk me into joining his wife for a threesome.
Wow.
And my personal favorite is, again, when I leapt into a semi-truck in the oncoming lane, John Tanner says out loud, why am I a little girl? and then the camera turns over to this giant, hairy, beefy dude in the the passenger seat and says, "Because it's take your daughter to work day, sweetie." And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I immediately took a hard left and pulverized a Maserati on a head-on collision.
I'm not going to lie to you. I never in a billion years expected Driver San Francisco to actually be an interesting game.
It kind of is, and I was especially fond of the first. I noticed that whenever I leave my car is still driving on the road. It doesn't just stop. So the first time I went back, my standard issue sassy black partner says, "Manjot, I don't know what's weirder, the fact that you leave your glassy-eyed corpse in the driver's seat when you bamf out of here, or the fact that your corpse is a better driver than you."
Wow.
Video games got weird.
So you're chasing this terrorist whose name is Charles Jericho, but I keep calling him Chris Jericho, and I don't even watch wrestling. Mm-hmm. But I especially love the fact halfway through the game when you discover that Dream Chris Jericho has the same powers you do. So there's a moment where you're forced to drive back home while Mr. Jericho is taking over semi-trucks and trying to hit you head on, and that is the ultimate Christian Bale's Batman. Oh, that's what that feels like.
So what you're suggesting here is that John Tanner just made the list.
He doesn't watch wrestling. He didn't get
I know, that was for you, Dean. It was just for you.
Thanks.
And by the way, every multiplayer match you join is preceded by a pole position race. So there's a race that means nothing except what position you start in the race that actually means something. That adds so many unnecessary hours to multiplayer. It can eat a dick. So yeah, I can see the floor. Honestly, I
Eat
just
a dick award.
I can't stand multiplayer in general, which is keep that in mind for my third runner-up. By the way, coming in, but yeah, I've spoken too soon. I've spoken too much. Take care.
All right. Well, Jesus, that was a blindside. I had no idea that was coming. All right, Dan, what is your second award?
Honestly, it's what makes the SAGJGLDs such a coveted award.
It puts
that
the
it could
D
literally
in the
go to
JGLD.
anything. The what?
It puts the D in the JGLDs.
It certainly does.
D is for
my
driver.
next award is given to the game that would be perfect to give as a holiday, any holiday, really. Arbor Day, Labor Day, Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day, any holiday really, present if the person receiving said present is named Dean and is a huge fan of the Bubsy series, and that would be Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back.
Yes.
2 awards. Wow.
Sweeping it.
I know we joke about it a lot, but I would really like to set up a GoFundMe or a Patreon or something so that we can continuously buy copies of Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back and give them to Dean throughout the year.
Just mail him Bubsy
just copies for holidays. That would make me so happy.
Just every Friday he gets another copy of Bubsy.
If I start getting
52
copies of
Bubsy.
fucking Bubsy, if I honestly start getting copies of Bubsy, I will start burning them. I will start burning them. Oh my god!
You gotta build a giant Bubsy out of them.
Sent to Dean so that the developers are like, "Ah, fuck, this game's popular. Let's make another one."
Oh, you shut the fuck up! Don't you wish that evil on anyone?
So,
Really,
I'm looking
they're-
up how to set up a PO box now.
They're
Thank
cheap
you.
enough at this point. I mean, if we can just get we only need 52 copies to give him one copy of Bubsy every week for the entire year of 2018.
we have to have enough listeners for this.
This
Come on,
isn't
Internet.
funny. This isn't funny. No one
on.
do this.
You're right.
We'll
it's
set
hilarious.
up a Reddit page. It'll be just by far. There's got to be a holiday a week. There has to be.
Here's your Bubsy for
even
Donuts Day.
I don't even
Right?
think it needs to be a specific holiday. I think it just the holiday is Bubsy Day, and it's every week.
It is Rusev Day every day, so I mean, failing a week that we have something interesting, Dean can receive one for Rusev Day.
Or every day is Earth Day.
Every day is Earth Day.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be Rusev Day, though, rather than Earth Day.
So again, a category, a lot of stiff competition.
Yeah.
In the, game to give Dean, who's a big fan of Bubsy. But it's 2017 and we got a new fucking Bubsy game.
Right?
Like, let's take Dean's anger piss out of it. And really think about what that says about the fucking world that we live in. Anything is possible. Like, whatever weird, niche fucking game that you loved when you were a kid or whatever, like, there is a better than good chance that somebody wants to make a new game about it.
I want 2018 to bring me a new cool spot.
That is just as likely as 2017 giving us a new Bubsy game. And that shit happened. You could fucking be well on the way to Darkened Sky 2, Kris.
I could.
I
Oh
hope
my
not.
god.
I really hope not.
That would
that's the
be
Skittles game, isn't it?
Yeah, it
You're
is.
goddamn right it is.
Lord
This time it's
Necroth
fucking-
will have his revenge.
But, like, think about when Darkened Sky came out. And think of all the new flavors of Skittles that have dropped since then.
Oh my god, you're right.
Think
think
of
about how
much
weird-
graphics have improved.
how
There
weird
could be a
Skittles commercials have
PSVR
gotten
Darkened
since then.
Sky 2.
God.
Dan, shut your dirty slut mouth.
You are
I don't
painting
wanna
a
talk about this
beautiful
anymore.
picture.
A
Wow.
virtual third-person adventure game where you just fucking throw Skittles around.
Chris, talk about your fucking game. Give your fucking award. I'm done talking about Bubsy and Skittles and what other possible dumpster fires could come out this year.
Well, my next award is the trailer that made me feel feelings award goes to Sonic Mania. I all joking aside, man, that the first proper trailer for Sonic Mania, the pre-order trailer, I think is what it's called. Holy crap, that trailer made me so unfathomably happy, and I'm not even the biggest Sonic guy in the world. It was so flawlessly nostalgic, and the way the artwork was done, like the Sega CD cutscenes from Sonic CD, God, what the hell is the name of the band that did that music? That's just
Crush 40.
Black Sabbath.
No, not Crush 40. No, fuck Crush 40. I'm not talking about the weird butt rock that's been oozing out of 3D Sonic games for the last 20 years. It's
Nickelback.
My
Yeah,
mistake.
that's it.
It's
Nickelback.
Nickelback.
That's
Sum 41.
Jesus criminy. What
The
is it?
Pretenders.
Counting
Sticks.
Crows.
Toad the Wet Sprocket.
The Crash Test Dummies.
Hyper potions. That's it.
Letters to Cleo.
Yes. It's the star of the Spider-Man movie, Macy Gray. No, it was Hyper Potions that did that music. No, man, that trailer
Eiffel 65.
rocked my world, and I was super happy. I was super happy with the game too. Don't get me wrong, but honestly, one of the things that made me happiest this year was that initial trailer for Sonic Mania. So that's my award. Suck it.
It's all right. I mean, that's a dope award. I'm not gonna suck it, but yeah. Also, Dan, sweet reference with Eiffel 65.
Thank you.
That's people that did Blue, right?
Well,
Yep.
Sonic is
Dabba
blue.
Dee.
Yeah.
Dabba
Dabba
Da.
I lived through my entire life without ever hearing that song until Iron Man 3 happened.
Yeah, I cannot believe you just said that. I was going to say, I have dealt with so many people who hate Iron Man 3, and none of them hate it because Blue is in it. I would have thought that would have been the sticking point for most people I know, but no, it's because the Mandarin is not a horrible yellow peril Chinese stereotype.
I genuinely like Iron Man 3, and
I'm
it had a real
quite-
uphill battle after starting
Yeah.
off with that fucking song.
No, I'm quite fond of that movie myself.
Movie is excellent, and what they did with the Mandarin is fucking cool.
It was absolutely brilliant. I loved that so much. I loved working in the comic book store where the people would come and be like, "Can't believe they did that to the Mandarin," and we would be like, "Name a good Mandarin story arc. Go ahead, point me to one.
All
And
of them.
Nobody was able to do it.
The one where he defeated Iron Man with karate, which he knows because he's Asian.
Well, all Asians know karate, though.
They're just born that way.
They're called Orientals, actually.
Oh,
That's
Tiff would
why
be
Dean
so
got
proud.
kicked off the show, actually.
Tiff
That
would be
kind of
so
shit.
proud that he brought the racism.
I mean,
He doesn't
you should
bring
go
the
back and
racism
listen to
for
one of
Best
our
of Friends.
quiz episodes where Dean made basically a fucking alt-right game. It was before the alt-right was even a thing. Fucking God.
Hey, listen, y'all were tiptoeing around it. I just fucking brought it front and center for you guys. I
See
don't
that? And you hear that?
actually
He says
support...
y'all like he's from the South.
Shut.
Dean
I don't
and his-
actually support calling anyone Oriental, but I mean, let's just be real. That's what everyone was just tiptoeing around what they wanted to say, because that's what everyone was mad about, is that fucking the Mandarin wasn't that.
Let's be honest, Dean. You are a white man who owns a kimono, therefore are guilty of cultural appropriation. You also have a Confederate flag vest.
Whoa, I'm learning all sorts of stuff today.
Yes to the kimono. Fuck no to the Confederate flag vest.
Fuck yes to the "Don't Tread on Me" vest.
He's
No,
a really
I-
big fan of the Dukes of Hazzard, all right?
That's a
you
terrible
know,
show.
they're free to call us Occidentals. I wouldn't mind that.
Okay, Dean.
Dean
What's-
doesn't just drive the General Lee, he drives the General Lee what's right.
Oh, God.
Dean, what is your third award?
It's best acid trip in a video game. Goes to Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
First time you get sucked into that motherfucking frog, or when you're in Bowser.
Oh,
and you
true.
yeah.
That's
a
like
weird moment.
disturbing.
Yeah, like I could only imagine being Mario and then being that person. I mean, he takes it pretty well in stride. I mean, he makes use of that. I would have probably just curled into a ball and started crying. Just started bawling, because now I'm a fucking frog. What'd you do to me, Hat? What did you do? I mean,
considering the shit Mario has
I
seen
was
in
gonna
his
say,
life,
granted he's Mario, so like it's a little different.
Dude, Touch
but-
Fuzzy Get Dizzy from Yoshi's Island happened when Mario was a baby. This shit barely even scratched the surface for him.
it's like the fucking Street Fighter movie. The day that Bison came to your village was the most important day of your life. For Bison, it was a Tuesday.
I'm going to punch that son of a beach bison so hard.
Quick, change the channel.
I just loved the fact that they used real ass frog pictures
Yeah,
flying
that-
by your
that
head.
was- that was
Yeah,
fucking
that
great.
was something.
I'm gonna start
yeah,
playing this
so-
game soon. I'll tell
I
ya.
mean, I don't need to say why this game is good, right? I mean, the only reason it's not an honor, the only reason it's an actual honorable mention is because it's another solid Mario game. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, Nintendo can do no wrong when it comes to Mario, really. I have not a bad thing to say about it. It's just I picked other. You said top 3. This is maybe number 4.
All right, fair enough. All right, Glenn, what is your next game?
All right. This is the award for the Grindfather's Grind Award for most constant incremental improvement through grinding the same levels over and over again.
That's very
And it
specific.
goes to Neo.
Oh God.
Neo is everyone's favorite samurai action Souls game, but they tacked loot onto it, so you can grind the same levels over and over and get better colored swords to cut the better colored demons with. And I love it. But I do have to say that Neo has a pretty good first difficulty level. So most loot games, you run through your first difficulty level and you're like, this kind of sucked. I want to get to the good stuff, the hard mode where stuff actually starts dropping. You could play through Neo's normal mode, get through the entire game. It has a wonderful, campy, fun action game story. Play through the DLC, love it, not touch the next 4 difficulties, and skip the grind and just have a good game. Or, if you're a crazy person, you could get plus 200,000 level 300 dual katanas that are ethereal and defiled and all sorts of other crazy systems. The most grind of 2017.
I can support that. I played this game with you, and yeah, it's very grindy and it's super fucking difficult, and it made me want to stab my eyes out at points.
Now, when you say grindy, are we talking about like grinding for levels or Tony Hawk?
Grinding for levels.
No, it's
Yes.
Tony Hawk. He rides in the Kasana into the fucking demons, through them. It's great. You got to play it. I mean, if you ever wanted to play a samurai skateboarding game, this is it.
Only you have to get the first DLC though to get the Odachi. Then you can start grinding.
Gotcha. I'm picturing like the Metal Gear skateboarding, except with samurai.
Yeah, that's exactly
what it
it.
is.
That's Neo. All right, now I know what
And
that game is.
bonfires.
I feel very informed. Thank you, Glenn.
Anytime.
All right, Jordan, you're next. What is your third SAGJGLD award?
Thank you. By the way, did anyone else notice that Kris burned out all of his Matrix jokes when I was talking about Driver San Francisco, so there are none left when you were talking about Neo?
Oh no,
shit.
actually, that's really funny you mentioned that. I typed in Neo as an NEO, and I was like, I don't even know what this game is. And then I was so proud of myself for figuring out that it was the Neo, like NI-OH. I just didn't even want to make a Matrix joke at that point because I was too busy being proud of myself for figuring out what the hell game he was talking about.
And you've earned it.
Well, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so yes, as I foreshadowed earlier, the only multiplayer game I could tolerate this year award, or more accurately, the If Animal Planet's Puppy Bowl Was a Real Sport award, I'm giving that to Rocket League.
Oh, shit.
Rocket
Wow, that
League.
is a really good analogy.
Thank you. I picked up Rocket League when a lot of people did, when it was the... yeah, thank you. When...
You just made me want this game like 10 times more.
Well, you're welcome, guys. I'm getting to that's my problem. I'm too scripted. So Rocket League was the PS Plus's instant game collection's darling from like July of 2015. It was free to all PS Plus members the month it was released on consoles. And I basically blasted through that and got the platinum, basically just playing against the computer in like under a month, and I basically just kind of put it down. And I heard that there was a lot of free DLC and a lot more trophies that came out. And so just a little while ago, I picked it up again and decided maybe I'll actually just try and see if anyone's still playing this, and maybe I can play against them. And yeah, there's a hell of a lot of people still playing this, and against all odds, I really enjoyed just playing against randos on the internet. This game, it's so easy to pick up and play. The controls are simple to learn, hard to master, and there was a point when a cosmic switch was flipped. And I'm playing this game, and I don't know how I missed this all those years ago, but I realized how goddamn adorable this game is. I started flashing back to like 6 years ago when last time I went to a Super Bowl party, and our host hated the commercials so much he would just turn on Animal Planet's Puppy Bowl, which for the uninitiated is just a bunch of cameras around a bunch of puppies in a football-shaped set, and they're just running around
it's more
for
than
hours
that,
upon
sir.
hours.
There is the hamsters and the blimp in the sky. All right, so the hamsters are looking, and there's the kitty,
Kris,
the
Kris.
cat referees or whatever. Like no, the puppy bowl is awesome.
Oh, God.
They have expanded. The puppy bowl is amazing.
Okay,
We're on a time limit. Let's not debate the Puppy Bowl. Puppy Bowl's great.
Okay.
There is no debate. The puppy bowl fucking rules. Back to you,
Man,
Jordan.
just watching those little RC cars like sail after the ball, which is the perfect size between unwieldy and comically huge. I don't know. This game just tickles me just unceasingly, and I've been playing a hell of a lot of it lately. And there's also there's a couple new game types. There's the one I love the most is called Drop Zone, which you have to like serve the ball and get it to impact the ground in your opponent's half of the field enough to like punch holes. So and then you have to push either the ball or your opponents into those holes. And it's such a fun twist on the old soccer concept, and I love it so much. Naturally, no one plays it.
So
Rocket Car Space Jam.
I literally almost bought this last night because I was looking through my wish list on the Switch, and it's currently on sale for $14.99 on Switch.
It is a steal at that price.
I should just go buy that as soon as the show's over, right? Like, there's just no reason not to buy this at this point.
There's really not.
Well, I mean, it's fun to play, but I would remark that it's much more fun to play with real people. Like, if this isn't something you can just play, like, for $15, plan to play with, like, Karen or, like,
well, look, I'm
friends and
expecting to play against the computer with my son watching me, and my son loves cars. He's gonna flip over.
There's
this
trucks.
thing.
There are trucks.
Yeah.
There are vans.
Oh, there's trucks. There's also a Samus
are.
car in the Switch version. So
There you go.
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
it's
freaking
for you,
sold.
Chris.
Good job, Jordan. You have officially sold me Rocket League. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
You
Dan.
had him at Puppy Bowl.
You had me at Puppy Bowl.
Yeah, you're quite welcome. I'm glad I was able to share that analogy with you fine folks.
You told me what that award name was, and I had no clue what it was. All right, Dan, what's your third award going to?
My award for game that makes me wish I had an Xbox One. Oh, wait, it's on the PC as well, which is basically just like having an Xbox, so I don't need to go buy one, is for Cuphead.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
It was either that or Super Lucky's Tale. Those are like the only decent Xbox One games that came out this year.
Yeah, no, definitely Cuphead. Cuphead is fucking awesome. It's so good. The art style is so charming. The music is so fucking fantastic. It's old school. It's fucking hard. Like it's hard, but it's just it's never unfair. It's just hard in a way that games have not been hard in a long time. And it makes me feel like what I felt playing games when I was a kid, where like I have to fucking master this. I have to get past this. I'm going to learn the pattern for the boss. I'm going to learn the exact moment to jump in each and every little bit. It's fucking cool. It's a really, really good game, and I wish it was more more accessible. And not that most people don't have a PC that can run it, but
I mean, this game's already sold over 1 million copies, and it's only on Xbox One and PC. Like,
right.
That's impressive. Imagine how big this game
huge.
would be if it was on all platforms. That would be ridiculous.
It really would, and I'm hopeful that the sales are enough to generate a sequel at some point where that does go multi-platform.
I think you're more likely to see this hit multi-platform before a sequel comes out. I would give this maybe a year, and then you're probably going to start seeing this come out in other systems.
Well, I don't know, because Microsoft published it.
Yeah, it's they have a hand in it, I believe. So I would be surprised if maybe there would be some sort of like remake of it in some way, not remake, like a re-release with a subtitle that adds some different content.
Well, I mean, look at Minecraft though. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
I was just about to say Minecraft.
That's a valid point. Microsoft likes money way more than they like exclusivity.
They do, but Minecraft was a thing. Like, the backlash that would have happened if Microsoft would have pulled Minecraft from everything but PC and Xbox would have destroyed that franchise. It was already such a huge phenomenon before Microsoft bought Mojang, or Mojang, or however the fuck you say it. That guy's an asshole, it doesn't matter. Fucking Notch can go suck every dick. He's fucking whatever.
So Cuphead does have local co-op. So if you can't get a PC or an Xbox, make friends with someone who does, and go play and watch them die a lot.
Has anyone else played it other than me?
Oh yeah, I've played it.
It's so fucking good.
I wish.
Yeah, it's a great game. I'm super stoked to get back into it because I got off of it for a while for other games that we'll be talking about pretty soon. So yeah, it's a great game. I'm super excited to play more.
We'll do co-op. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome. guys, I just had a horrifying thought. What if there is a Cuphead 2, but it looks like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
That's not horrifying. That's awesome.
I might actually really be into the idea of them like going
evolving,
through like animation. Like I can't wait till we get to like Cuphead 7 and it's the Beast Wars style animation when everybody goes. This was cool when I was a kid, but not so much now. I don't know what I was
Just looks
thinking.
like Vulture on the third dimension. Yes.
This is the reboot version. Like, oh God, what are we doing?
All right. Well,
Anyway.
my next award is the "This is unbelievably bland that I don't even care because I can't put it down" award, and that goes to Picross S for Switch. Yeah, I love Picross. The end.
I was gonna say,
I love
you know,
Picross, yeah.
you can't go wrong with more Picross. There's nothing wrong with the game. There's nothing wrong with you for liking it. I mean, Picross is Picross. You want more of it? Sure, we'll give you more. It's the same, but as long as you like it and as long as you pay for it, you can have it.
But that's just it. It's relatively cheap. All right, the presentation is pretty sparse, but it's very nice. It's very clean, and the Switch version did add some very cool things to it. It added some control options that, so, I grew up on Mario's Picross on Game Boy, and that there were a couple of things about the way that controlled that the more modern ones, I'll say quote unquote refined. That Picross S allows you to kind of dial those back so it controls just like the Game Boy one that I just basically this muscle memory at this point. The music is very nice. It's very soothing. It's actually catchy. It's good stuff. I wish I knew who composed it, but there's no credits as far as I can tell. And I looked it up online and I couldn't find any answers. So if anyone from Jupiter Incorporated listens to this show for some reason, tell me who wrote the music to Picross S because I love it. But also, there's a co-op mode in this, which my wife and I have played a bunch of together. It's really, really fun. It's just you both have your cursors and you're both solving the same puzzle together at the same time, and it's wonderful. It makes the puzzles go by relatively quickly, but it's also just something that the two of us could do together that was very relaxing and not competitive, which is nice because some competitive games like Mario Kart 1 are great, but there's usually this gap between the way that Karen and I play games. Is I play games all the time. I've been doing it my whole life, and Karen is a very, very casual gamer, so when we play something like Overcooked, she gets overwhelmed very fast. Whereas with Picross, it's just something that I got her into a while ago, and she loves it, and she can just play at her own pace. I can play at mine, and we just finish the puzzles as we finish the puzzles, and we keep moving on. I want them to crap out as many of these Picross games on Switch as they did on the 3DS. And how they just did E8 this week, I think, on the 3DS. So I want more Picross S games, and it was one of those games that happened this year that made me unbelievably happy, and I really wanted to shout out, even though it's not my Game of the Year contender, but it was such a good experience. I wanted to call it out. So
I've been actually considering downloading this because I love Picross, and it's a good way to pass the time. So I perfectly agree that it needed to be mentioned at the very least.
Absolutely. So let's keep this train rolling. We're already going long, so big surprise. Dean, what is your 4th award?
Fourth.
Go.
Yeah, so it's best value. Again, this is one that it's just it's a great game. I really love it. You should buy it. It just was slightly below top 3. And that's Hollow Knight.
Yes.
For the I think it's just PC. I could be wrong. It's probably out in some other stuff too. But I bought it on the PC. You can't go wrong. It has a fantastic collectible system, super awesome environments, dope ass characters, satisfying story. There's free extra content as long as you buy the game. The plot is super dope. And the gameplay is challenging, but it's also fun and fair at the same time. So, I mean, this game has everything you could want from like an indie game. It's a Metroidvania type game. It's probably actually closer to Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night, going in that direction, just with a really, really cool art scheme. And you can't go wrong for the price. I think it's on sale right now too on Steam if you have a solid PC to buy it on. So
it's
I
coming
would
out
say,
on Switch next year.
Oh,
Yes,
buy
they're
it.
working on it.
Absolutely buy it. It is a
Okay.
fantastic game, and it's long, so it's longish, so you'll have plenty of like time to enjoy it too. Yeah, that's my pick, and I'm just gonna make it quick so we can keep moving along.
Awesome.
I love Hollow Knight. We'll talk more about Hollow Knight.
I've heard other folks say Hollow Knight in good ways, so hooray. Okay, Glenn, what's your next one?
All right, this is Glenn's honorary game that actually made me scream like a little kid award, and that goes to Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, I don't know how familiar you out in the audience is with this game, but it's a nice, sweet high school literature club anime dating sim visual novel tagged as psychological horror on Steam. And it starts with a very legitimate trigger warning. That game goes places, but there's one moment in particular, skip ahead maybe 15 seconds if you don't want to hear, where your cute little, spoiler alert that is, where your cute little pink-haired friend is going a little crazy, and all of a sudden her neck snaps to the side, and her eyes go black, and she rushes at the screen. I jumped, I screamed, my wife laughed at me. It's a good time by all. It's a good horror game, and it's free.
I've heard that for the price of free, you can't go wrong. It's worth it to check out and enjoy. So I agree with Glenn. This is definitely worth a mention.
Just please listen to the trigger warning. Like, it's not messing around.
Fair enough. Another game I've never heard of. Well done, Glenn. You're doing a good job of introducing me to games I do not know about.
We should talk more.
We should. Jordan, what is your next?
All right. I've been struggling to think of a way to set this up, but I can't come up with anything, so I'll just say the Turkish Bathhouse Heritage Award goes to...
Okay.
Okay? Y'all interested now? All right.
Go on.
The Turkish Bathhouse Heritage Award goes to Mafia 3. Mafia 3 is...
Man, I was really hoping you were going to say Mario Odyssey.
No. Do they have those in there too? I totally forgot to mention. I haven't played a Nintendo console since the N64, so I really thought that I'd be able to add some new some Sony Pony-ish games to this countdown, and I think I've done okay in that regard so far. But well. So yes, Mafia 3 is of course the heartwarming story of a black special forces army vet who is on a blood vendetta to oust the racist Italian mafia from his hometown of totally not New Orleans. He's not out to fight crime, to stop the crimes from happening. Oh no, he just wants to hand these crimes over to the new, more cosmopolitan mafia that is 1/3 Haitian, 1/3 Irish, and 1/3 also Italian. But you can trust these Italian guys. They're led by Vito Scaletta, the main character from Mafia 2. So they're obviously they're good people. And I think I'll just I had some other interstitials, but I think let's just fast forward to the Turkish bathhouse, shall we?
Please do. That's what had my interest. I'm just thinking of Hakan from Street Fighter 4 in a Mafia game, and
I'd probably set him on fire, unfortunately.
He is covered in oil.
And I have a lot of Molotovs, and there's a trophy for setting like 50 people on fire with Molotovs. So that's probably how that encounter would go. So the Turkish bathhouse is the central hub fortress of the blackmail racket. And so I'm going to this. So I go to this room that supposedly has all of the blackmail photos that I'm supposed to liberate, and it's a dark room, and there's a freestanding video camera peering through a two-way mirror. And I just decided, while I'm cleaning up, I decided to glance through the mirror, and there are two dudes boning. And I just looked at that for a rather long time, head crooked in my hand, thinking, have I ever seen gay sex depicted in a video game before? I don't know. Obviously, lesbian sex acts have been a staple of video games since at least Fear Effect 2 on the PlayStation 2. Everyone knows that. But
yeah, that was the first thought that popped into my head. But now I can't think of a video game where two dudes have really gone at it.
And then, of course, there was Grand Theft Auto 4: The Lost and the Damned that had that unexpected full frontal male nudity, and that was like the first instance of that I could think of. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 had that cult on Mount Chiliad where there were all those robed dudes with their junk hanging out. And this is where my mindset was when the guy with the shotgun who was in the corner of the office that I didn't notice because I was looking at the two dudes boning, then noticed me and splattered my brains all across the two-way mirror. So Old Lincoln Clay had a really fun story to tell at the bar that all the video game characters hang out Wreck-It Ralph style, I imagine, when I'm not playing their games. There's a big chalkboard, like the most embarrassing ways that Jordan has gotten you killed so far. Of course, under, accidentally walked underneath a street sweeper while he was changing over a podcast, or fed him to a shark in order to get a trophy. Then comes was too busy thinking of dudes boning. And here, of course, comes Brendan's contribution to this evening's festivities. My co-host, Mr. Brendan Michelli, he's on the other end of the country right now. So I thought maybe I could tell you the story of when I informed him of this fun happenstance, and he said, "Oh, so this game takes place in the late '60s, right?" And I said, "Yes, it does." He's like, "Oh, yes, in the '60s and '70s, Turkish bathhouses were the place to go for homosexual trysts." I applaud this game's commitment to historical accuracy.
Wow!
It took me 4
I'm
or 5.
so glad he knows that.
Mm-hmm. It took me 4 or 5 days for me to screw up the courage to ask, "Hey, Brendan, maybe I'm just sheltered, but how do you know about the preferences of gay men in the '60s and '70s?" And he said, "Oh, from the BBC."
Oh yeah, that lines up.
Yeah, and by that I mean the British Broadcasting Corporation, not the other BBC, which I know what that is, but I didn't know about the Turkish bathhouse thing. No, apparently he's watched a lot of '60s or '70s cop dramas, and the Turkish bathhouse is always where gay dudes kill each other.
Huh.
There's no other place in all of London that occurred. So
Cue the more you know star.
That's just a small taste of what Brendan Michelli's like. If he were here, he'd probably give his only game I've played in the last 3 years award to Guild Wars 2.
Man, I thought you just said Gilmore Girls, and I was like, "There's a Gilmore Girls game? Sign me up!"
No,
It's fucking sick.
It's a first-person shooter.
Oh, fuck, man. Rory's getting serious.
All right, Dan, what is your next award?
My next award is for the Please Make It Fucking Stop Already, and that would be Mario Party Top 100, released this year for the 3DS. Somehow, Chris, we missed it on our Mario retrospective.
Because it wasn't released yet at that time.
Oh, okay.
It just came out recently.
Fuck me running. This is a collection of minigames collected from other collections of minigames.
It's a greatest hits album, for crying out loud.
This is the Beatles' White Album. Not even the fucking Beatles' White Album. This is the Beatles' Red and Blue albums. The fucking greatest hits of Mario Party. It's 100. It's 100 of the same fucking thing.
You know what? I was listening to another podcast, God forbid, because there is only one podcast that exists, and it's this one. But I was listening to another podcast, and they had the best analogy for this. It's like someone swept up a pile of garbage and was like, "Here you go. It's a game. There you go. That's it. We got a game."
Fucking Mario Party is the herpes of video games.
It's the Zubat of video games.
It always comes back when you fucking don't want it to or don't need it to. You're like, "Oh, prom's tomorrow. Fuck, now my face looks like shit."
And there's no cure for it either.
There's no fucking... It's going to happen in perpetuity.
The games can keep getting worse, and they just keep making more of them. So
Mario Party, man, I wish I had herpes instead.
Right? God.
Would you guys believe that while I was doing housework this morning, I was actually watching some of my subs on YouTube play a 50-round go of Mario Party 5?
Jesus.
And I watched that because I naturally assumed all of you guys love that stuff, so I wanted to be current on what that game's like.
Nah, not a Mario Party fan.
It's just
I'm not opposed to the idea of Mario Party.
Oh,
I'm opposed to the quality of Mario Party games since the second one. And even then, I wasn't a huge fan. I was like, but I got the draw at that point. I was like, I get this. I understand why people enjoy this. It's a party thing, and I don't have parties because I'm not popular. But
Chris, you're plenty popular. Stop.
fucking Dean. Do not lie to him on this podcast. We've spoken about this.
You know, guys, it could be worse. There could be 8 Sonic Shuffles.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Oh, wow.
So is the top 100 minigames just 100 bumper balls, or?
Yes, it's 100 of bumper balls in different colors.
That's all
and
I can
costumes
think
and
of.
Locations.
Can we rewind real quick to the nightmare scenario that Jordan just brought up? Because Dan was just talking about us making new fucking cool spot games, and he's just like, let's make some more Sonic Shuffle games. How did that not happen?
It wouldn't be as bad as Mario Party.
Yeah, it would. Did you play Sonic Shuffle?
No.
Sonic Shuffle is worse Mario Party.
That's not true.
It was pretty bad. I mean, this is the same caliber of. Didn't Crash also do one as well? Crash Bandicoot had a party game, didn't he? Yep. Crash Bash or something.
Crash Bash had no board; it was just mini games.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Sonic Shuffle had a board, but the difference is that instead of being forced to move in a circuit, you can just move wherever the hell you want.
See, that's already better than Mario Party.
Dan, you're giving it way too much credit.
Yeah, it way too much credit. All right, well, my fourth award goes to this game would have beat Super Mario Odyssey on my list if not for the ridiculous glitches award. Goes to Doom. I fucking love this game.
It's good, right?
I'm still playing through it, and I have had so very much fun with this game. I legit considered putting it in my top 3. I really considered. It was a tough call between this one and Mario Odyssey, and I had to put Odyssey over the top because I keep running into glitches in Doom, and they're really difficult to get through. There's this sound glitch that's really obnoxious where if a bunch of stuff is happening in the game, every now and then, you'll shoot your shotgun and all of a sudden everything goes quiet. You're like, damn it. Now I can't hear all the awesome brutality that's happening right now. And the only way to stop it is to just reload your last checkpoint, but then you've lost progress and whatnot, and that's kind of obnoxious. Or my favorite glitch, which is the one that made the menu system unusable. So, you couldn't move the cursor around in the menu. You could only select whatever the default was, which fortunately was able to get me into my regular game progress, but I couldn't upgrade any of my weapons. I couldn't change any settings, and that actually involved a hard reset of the Switch itself in order to get past that. And there's a couple little bits where it's really unclear where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to do, and just a few minor things in the game that Mario Odyssey does not have those problems. But I cannot stress enough, because I know a lot of people in a lot of different outlets are talking about how Super Mario Odyssey is just this totally incredible game, and it really is. I adore that game to death. You'll hear me talk about it later, but I just wanted to let everyone know I like Doom that much. It's that goddamn good. So if by some chance you have not played it yet, it is now on every current generation platform. You have to buy it and play it. It is so worth your time. Especially, I have to say, I love having it on Switch because I take it to work with me. I played it in the car. I'll just walk out to my car and play Doom for 15 minutes if I want to. I play it on the crapper in the morning.
Yeah.
I play it in bed at night because you can take it anywhere, and it's so good. It's such a great, violent, wonderful, simple, effective game. Doom's a goddamn masterpiece.
When demons are on a bagel, you can have demons anytime.
Exactly. Doom is the pizza bagels of video games.
There you go. It's perfect.
Thank you for another great early 90s reference. I'm glad I'm not the only one making those. I have to say, Chris, I'm really sorry to hear about those glitches. It's the first I've heard of it. We always joke about how Nintendo consoles just hate having M-rated games on them. Maybe it's taking that to the next level now.
Nah, because Bayonetta 2 ran like a freaking dream, and I don't know what it is about this one. It's just, and they're small. They seem like big deals, and they kind of are. But in the grand pantheon of things, they're patchable. It's not because the Switch can't do it. It's just that they just haven't fixed them for whatever reason.
No, you're right. It's
I don't know
not
what that
frame
is.
rate or anything. It's just little weird intricacies. I'm sure it'll get patched out sooner or later.
I sure hope so, because the menu thing has only happened that one time. I think that has actually been patched, but it required a hard reboot to actually take effect. The sound thing hasn't happened to me in a while, so maybe it was patched out. But I don't know. That's the thing about Switch is like it does a lot of the updates and stuff overnight and kind of just automatically. So you load it up and it's like, this game was updated. Can you restart it? And it's like, okay, sure. And then you do and you're good. So Doom's awesome. Play Doom. All right.
Play Doom.
Looping back around. Our fifth ones. Final awards before the break. Dean.
My final one is second best robots for 2017. And that is SteamWorld Dig 2. I love that game.
Oh, nice.
That game is awesome.
Nice pick.
I remember when I first got the original one, I said I was going to pick it up, Chris, and you were like, yeah, that's a dope game. So I played the shit out of it. It was awesome. I got SteamWorld Heist immediately when it came out, and I didn't get around to beating it, but I played a large chunk of it. And I just recently picked up SteamWorld Dig 2 when it went on sale. God, what was it, Saturday? I beat the game like almost overnight. I think I didn't play it Saturday. I played it part of Sunday. I played it when I got home from Christmas on Monday, and I beat it Tuesday, and man, that game is fucking good. The upgrades are cool. You get to play as Dot, who is in the original SteamWorld Dig, which is great. You're looking for Rusty, your main character in SteamWorld Dig, which is cool, and it all ties together. This game ties together with SteamWorld Dig 1, it ties together with SteamWorld Heist, and like makes a cohesive storyline, which is absolutely the coolest thing about this game, is that they're making a universe out of these games, which I think is so cool. I love when games tie together narratives so well, and I'm excited to see what comes after this, because this all started with SteamWorld Tower Defense, a DSiWare game, and then it just morphed into more and more and more awesome stuff, and I'm so excited to see where this goes. The game's solid. If you like SteamWorld Dig, pick it up. It's more the same with better controls, more mechanics, cool characters to throw in, and cool shout-outs to SteamWorld Heist and SteamWorld Dig. You can't go wrong, especially while it's on sale right now during the winter sale for Steam, but it's available on other platforms as well, so check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I've definitely had this one on my list as well, but I liked the first game, but I wasn't head over heels for it, so I guess that's what's kind of turned me off to the second one.
Yeah,
but
I'm rather the same. I played the first one on Vita, which, yeah, I'm really all in this whole PlayStation thing, aren't I? But
hey, I've got a Vita. That's a nice system.
It is a nice system.
It's a shame. It's a shame they botched it so badly, because there's nothing wrong with that system itself. Like, anyway, we could have a whole podcast on that one. But yeah, no, I was not in love with the first one. I really liked it, but not enough to. It didn't stick with me. But I've heard from a couple other outlets that Dig 2 is just that much better than the first one and really worth getting into. So
absolutely,
I adored the first one.
It was so good.
I think we had talked about it. I think probably back when you were still on the show, Dean. It was something that Tiff and I played together. And the kids liked it. They liked watching it, and just I don't know. It was very, very simple, but just a fucking cool game. It was very charming. The characters were really cool. I did not care for Heist all that much.
Heist is a totally different game, so I could see why people wouldn't like it, but I mean...
Yeah, I just didn't love it.
Yeah, Dig 2 is just... It's more of Dig with improved everything, so... Yeah, I mean, if it's on sale, or even if you want to pay full price, it's more than worth the price of entry for the game.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
Okay, Glenn, what you got?
Dog of the Year. Dog
Let's
of the
do it.
Year
Let's
goes
do
to
it.
Rad Shibu from Valhalla. So Valhalla is the cyberpunk bartender game where you play a bartender in a visual novel and you get to mix drinks for people. It's very chill. But Rad Shiba, is a part-timer that starts working a couple days in, who is a Shibu Inu who wears sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt, and he's always got his tongue lolling out. And he drinks a lot of booze. He's close friends with another Shina Ibu named Nacho, who is so clearly Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. And that's when you realize Rad Shiba is, how the heck do you say his name? Kaz from Metal Gear Solid 5?
Kazuhiro
Miller, yes. And they work for Sierra, which is such a Diamond Dogs stand-in, where It's an organization that seeks to let dogs play in a place where they can be comfortable, and that's it. He's the best dog. He's a good boy. You get to play Truth or Dare with him. And I'm going to end this little segment with this quote from him. Rad Sheba says, "You'll pet me sooner or later. They all do."
He's not wrong.
Great game.
Yeah, I actually took a look at Valhalla on the Vita not long ago, and it's that game is right up my alley too. I will say if you want to search for it, good luck, because it's actually spelled VA11 :Hall-A.
You can search Cyberpunk Bartender Game,
Okay,
and you'll
good.
have a good chance of finding it.
All right, so you don't. Yeah, let's do that instead. Okay,
Best dog.
Sorry, man. Am I next?
Yes, you are. Go for it, Jordan.
Okay, so I'm surely, as soon as I concluded my Mafia 3 Turkish Bathhouse Heritage Award story, you must have been saying to yourselves, I really do hope that Jordan has another kinky sex story, preferably from another game whose name is also an international crime cartel, followed by a number. Well, you're in luck.
Wow,
I
it's like
already
you can read
unzipped.
my mind.
The Dominatrix Manager 2017 award goes to Yakuza 0.
Yes. 100%.
In case you don't know, the Yakuza games, there are like 12 of them, and they're basically what Sega has been making since 2006 in lieu of good Sonic games. I only recently discovered these, and my god, I should have been playing these from the beginning. They are so complex. They're just there's 1,000 things I could talk about. So I think I'll just talk about the Dominatrix Manager part. So yeah, there's a side quest called How to Train Your Dominatrix, and it starts with you walking down the street in the red light district of Tokyo, and there's a dude groveling on the ground in front of a dominatrix, imploring her to berate and belittle him, and she's all like, "Yeah, I can totally do that. You middle-aged man, you." And then
Harsh.
Go on.
and then suddenly he whips up with a fury and says, "Damn it, Aya-sama! I have given you so much time to hone your craft, but you are a disgrace, a stain on this good perverted establishment. I shall be taking my masochism elsewhere. Good day to you, madam."
I love this quest line.
I said good day. So naturally, once he's gone, the dominatrix, who by the way is kitted in a corset and PVC booty shorts, then of course looks at you and says, "Hey, you look like a video game protagonist. Would you like to help me hone my dominatrixing craft?" So naturally, yes. And so I do love how she insists that we go to a public park to rehearse this. So this is going to be so hard to describe in an auditory medium, but the framing of the scene is perfect. It's like a play. It's like, a Super Mario Brothers 3 or something, and you just come in from stage right through the monkey bars and say, "Hello, mistress. What can I do for you today?" And then she's like, "I don't know. What would you like to do?" And then your character, Kiryu-san, is like, "Time? Okay. That was good, but why don't we try?" And then there's a dialogue tree, and you can choose what she says. And I, of course, went with, "Did I give you permission to speak, dog?" And so then the camera zooms back to her, and she practically has a clipboard. It's like, "Did I give you?" And you just sort of go back and forth with this. And around the time I said to myself, boy, it's really getting uncomfortable that we're doing this in a public park. Children might stop by. And then children stop by and say, "Hey guys, what you doing? Your tiny shorts are really cute, miss. Do they come in children's sizes too?" And
It's so inappropriate.
And so naturally, Kiryu-san seizes on the idea to say, "Hey, this could be an important lesson for you, Yuma-sama. If children just happen on your BDSM sessions, you could say, that you brought these children in to witness your degradation and laugh at your tiny genitals. Then she busts out the check the clipboard again, and of course the kids are all like, "Adults are so boring. Let's hit the karaoke bar." That, by the way, there is a fully stocked karaoke bar in this game.
It's such an uncomfortable scene, and I love it. And I think it's only further improved by the fact that you get to see her actually play it out, and your character is like hiding in a corner with his shoes peeking out.
And naturally, you feel like fall out of the closet at some point. But if you told her to roll with the whole plan, then everything goes. Oh, by the way, yes, the very same guy who chewed her out, not in the good way, 30 minutes ago, comes back 30 minutes later and says, "Well, I think I've given you all the time you need to improve yourself." So they just go right back at it, and it's long story short, it's not often that I'm witnessing a piece of Japanese media and it engages in borderline pornographic material, and my immediate gut response is, "Aww, that's adorable."
All right, Dan. Good luck topping that.
I am really uncomfortable following up with the award that I was going to give, so I'm going to pivot here for a second, and because you said write 5 and I wrote 8, so I'm going to narrow those down to 6, and I am going to give out the Tiffany Ryan Portal 2 Memorial Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Video Game Design.
My favorite,
of course,
Portal
2.
Yes, well done.
Nice.
Because let's be honest, it's better than every other game. It's fucking Portal 2.
Well, it's definitely the best Portal 2 I've ever played.
It's the best Portal 2 that there has ever been.
I don't know.
true.
Have you ever played the Bridge Builder game yet? That's pretty solid.
But
Is
is
it
it
out?
Portal 2 though?
I don't know. I'm just saying things. It might not be out.
I don't think it's out yet. I'm excited for it, but it is not Portal 2. It therefore is disqualified in this category.
In this category, like that's the, even if it's fantastic, is it Portal 2?
Chicken Wiggle, Portal 2. On, Dan, another one, go.
Okay. Sorry. So the last award I have is for a game that my kids got me into that actually turned out to be pretty sweet and not a fucking stupid meme. Is Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty dope game from what I hear. I mean, if you like scary games, yeah.
Okay, the premise of Bendy and the Ink Machine is pretty much an old cartoon studio, very similar to like Steamboat Willie era Walt Disney Studios, has created this character, and the antagonist of the game goes back to the studio, and as you were walking around, the main character Bendy, who was the dancing demon, but it was cute. They were kids' cartoons. Is actually like a for real fucking demon. And
He's like a deity that people worship now.
Yeah, like he's fucking like he comes out of a pentagram, and like there's all this crazy shit going on. Like the very first, it's been released in installments, and it's not finished yet. They're only out to the third of, I believe, 6 chapters. There might only be 5. But like as you play through, it's a first person. It's not a shooter, certainly. It's more of a first person adventure game. But as you play through, like there's some little puzzle stuff to solve, and there's like just the art style is really, really cool. It looks like an old sepia toned cartoon. But there's a lot of jump scares in it. There is some degree of like graphic horror, but at the same time it's sepia toned, so it's mostly black and white and brown. The main character or the main character's friend Boris, who is like a goofy analog, like you find him just murdered and strung up in the very beginning chapter. It's one of those games. It's similar to Five Nights at Freddy's in that it's a game that is enjoyable enough for adults to play through with kids. Granted, I'm not talking like 4, but like my kids are 8 years old now, so they're a little bit more mature and can handle things. But there's a certain amount of safety in the scares that are in the game, very similar to the FNAF series of like, well, it's a jump scare, but that was fun. Bendy has a lot of stuff like that. My daughter has gotten in trouble at school for drawing pentagrams, which is kind of awesome.
That's the best.
But she doesn't get, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't understand. So it was like, oh, fuck, honey, come here. Let's talk about why you can't draw pentagrams.
And then
talk
she starts
about
saying
pentagrams
fuck
for a
instead.
She got in trouble for that, too. She got in trouble for spelling out F-U with her letter tiles, and then her teacher stopped her. Because I am doing awesome as a parent.
She was spelling fun, just like that other game that Kris mentioned earlier.
Right?
Yeah, she's a big Chicken Wiggle fan.
She's a huge Chicken Wiggle fan, as we all are. But yeah, Bendy and the Ink Machine is really cool. Like, it's really fun to play through. The puzzles are not super challenging, but they are at least a little bit creative. There's a lot of really cool like artwork that goes along with the game. They've done a lot of really cool stuff with it. So most of the time my kids are like, "Hey, you want to play this game?" And I'm like, "No, I not at all. Like, not even a little bit. Do I want to play this ridiculous iOS game that you're making me download?" But this one is actually pretty sweet. So Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Your kids are hardcore. This looks terrifying.
My kids are awesome.
I really appreciate Dan that not only were you the first person to mention Cuphead tonight, but you then went on to mention yet another video game that looks like an ancient cartoon.
And honestly, my kids are just as into Cuphead as they are Bendy and the Ink Machine. Like, I actually am doing a very good job as a father.
It's got a really cool art style. I can give it that just on the surface alone. I've seen a little bit of it, and it's kind of got a neat backstory with being invited to a place that you once worked at with this Walt Disney-esque creator and everything. It's overall a really cool game. I kind of want to get around to playing it when I get a chance, but there's so many fucking games to play.
Honestly, I would say like this is a game that you should probably wait for the whole thing to be released, because like each of the chapters so far, like you can blow through them in like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, that was cool, but like I'm done now, and I just have to sit here and wait for this next chapter to come out. There is a really cool thing in the second chapter where there's a puzzle you have to solve involving like different musical instruments, and like you turn on like this old-timey projector. You like run down into the orchestra room, like where they would record like the live orchestra to cartoons, and I don't know. There's some historical accuracy to it as well. It's very cool.
Well, certainly sounds like something I'll never play.
No, you will literally never play this, Kris. But the upside of that is that your kids probably won't draw pentagrams on their shit at school. So
at least not for that reason. All right, well then I guess I'll just give my last award out for the break, and that is the What the Fuck Happened to Chun-Li's Head award goes to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
I've never
I really
even
thought
played
you were
this
going to
game.
give it to The Last Guardian, but all right.
No, this is I've never played this, and it was and it still wins my biggest disappointment of the year award.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and then I obsessed over Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and then I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I liked a lot about it, but I didn't like what it devolved into, which was like, it's actually boring to watch, and if you don't, like, it's just like, oh, well, all right, now here's this guy doing his combo, and it's just going to keep going, and there's no stopping it. It's, I don't know, I feel like it lost a lot of its luster in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but at least there was a lot of really cool stuff about that game. And then when they said they were making another one, I was like, yay! And then I saw it, and I was like, yeah. And even though I've heard that the actual game itself is better than MVC3 was, and they went back to a 2-player team instead of a 3-player team, which I think is an interesting move to go, and it focuses a lot better. One of the big draws of Marvel vs. Capcom is the visuals. It's the fact that it's these characters from these two different universes in the same place. Like, that's a big part of what makes a crossover cool, is looking at a crossover. And when it looks this awful, when the art direction is this shitty, it takes the piss out of the whole thing. It makes it really difficult for me to be excited for at all. And, you know, the complete lack of X characters in the Marvel side of the roster, like, there's a lot of things that I, in theory, like about this game, but at the end of the day, if it just doesn't even look cool, because, man, just think about how awesome Marvel vs. Capcom 2 looks. Just that amazing art direction on those sprites. Like, I loved that not early Capcom, the 90s Capcom arcade style of the X-Men versus Street Fighters, the Street Fighter Alphas. Like, I love that art style so much, and there's so much potential, especially after seeing this game next to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like, how the art direction went this poorly. And, I mean, really, Capcom is on a roll with pissing me off with fighting games, because I also didn't care for Street Fighter V. And I am a huge Street Fighter fan. I mean, God, I must have talked about Street Fighter 4 on the show a ton. I played the shit out of Street Fighter 4 online, offline, just by myself, with friends. I loved Street Fighter 4 and every flavor of it. I thought it was freaking phenomenal. And Street Fighter V is just missing something. And I've spent some time with it, was desperately disappointed. And then Marvel vs. Capcom seems to have gotten the same treatment. And what the fuck happened to Chun-Li's head? What the hell went wrong? There's so much about this game I can't understand.
Say, they did a free multiplayer demo on a PlayStation a couple weeks back. And it looks better in motion than it does, like, in pictures.
Yes, I agree. It does look better in motion.
It plays much better. Like, I don't hate it now as much as I did just looking at it. I still don't love it. I would still prefer it to go back to, you know, the hand-drawn sprite style animation, but that's probably not going to happen.
Well, I mean, if Fighter Z does as well as it looks like it's going to, I mean, it doesn't have to be hand drawn. Make it cell shaded. Make it work. Make it based on artwork instead of really make it look less like Reboot.
Yeah, I am kind of sad that it's not February. Like that. Like, I'm actively sad that I'm not playing Fighter Z right now.
I will be actively sad when that game comes out and I still don't own a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, you can come over here and play it.
I might.
Kris, yeah, I'm right with you. I was so certain I was going to buy that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on launch day, and I saw, because I am the biggest MCU fan in the room, and it seems like MCU plus Capcom, the game. And I saw a Let's Play of the single player story mode, because they have that now, since Mortal Kombat's had that for a while, and it's just awful. Just the writing, the art direction. I could even feel just how off the controls are just from watching it. I thought that this was probably going to be the most disappointing thing inspired by the MCU I would ever see this year, and then I watched Inhumans.
Ooh.
And feel free to tune into Nonstop Comic Shop number 13 for how poorly that went. So,
you know what? I've looked at screenshots of images of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and saw Captain America and said, "Holy crap, he looks like Heroes Reborn Cap. That looks like Liefeld Cap. That's not okay."
Another great 90s reference. Needless to say, I decided to drop my 6th award, the "If a Lizard and a Bat Can Get Along, Why Can't Mom and Dad" award that I was obviously going to give to Ukulele, but frankly, my desire to talk about Ukulele was outweighed by my desire to make a Zeus and Roxanne reference. And again, you guys have been filling in the 90s, the obscure 90s references with greater aplomb than I was expecting. So yeah, no need to go into that.
All right, well, that concludes our first segment. God damn it! So we're gonna take.
You said you wanted to get done by 9:30. You meant 9:30 tomorrow, right?
9:30 in the morning. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back. We're going to each talk about our top 3 games of the year. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com, so stick around.
Plenty of teeth, tiny feet. Stay tuned. I gotta pee.
Well, that concludes part 1 of this extraordinarily long award ceremony. John, what do you think of video game awards?
I don't know what a video game word is.
It's when we talk about what we think the best video games we played of the year are. What was the best video game you played?
Pinball.
Pinball. That's right. My son loves pinball for NES. So just take a look nearby. I'm not sure how it's going to get posted, but part 2 of this episode should be right next to part 1. It should be next in your podcast feed or whatever. So stick around for part 2. Thank you very much and enjoy.